Hello everyone, in this video we are going to look at the sum and difference formulas for cosine. Cosine of alpha plus beta equals to cosine alpha times cosine beta subtract sine alpha times sine beta. The difference formula. Cosine of alpha minus beta equals to cosine alpha times cosine beta plus sine alpha times sine beta. Example number 1. Find exact value of cosine of 135 degrees plus 60 degrees. As we combine the two angles in the parentheses, we have cosine of 195 degrees. However, the angle is not special angle. Therefore, we begin to think of which identity could help us to find the exact value of this problem. Very good. Cosine of alpha plus beta equals to cosine of the first angle times cosine of the second angle, subtract sine of the first angle times sine of the second angle. Please feel free to pause the video so that you can try to apply this identity to this problem. Very nice. We will have cosine of 135 degrees times cosine of 60 degrees, subtract sine of 135 degrees times sine of 60 degrees, so that we will draw the 135 degrees angle, the reference angle which would be 45 degrees. The ratios are 1 square root of 2. Check the sign. Yes, x is negative. Therefore, we will have cosine of 135 degrees that equals to negative 1 over square root of 2. And we will have the sine of 135 degrees equals to 1 over square root of 2. Now, making a sketch of 60 degrees, we have the ratio. The side that's facing to 30 degrees is 1, hypotenuse 2, remaining side square root of 3. Cosine of 60 degrees equals to 1 over 2, and sine of 60 degrees equals to square root of 3 over 2. Let's rationalize the negative 1 over square root of 2 and 1 over square root of 2. We will have negative square root of 2 over 2 times half minus square root of 2 over 2 times square root of 3 over 2. We will multiply the numbers, and we have negative square root of 2 over 4 subtract square root of 6 over 4. And therefore, the final answer is negative square root of 2 minus square root of 6 over 4. Example number 2, find exact value of cosine of 5 pi over 12. 5 pi over 12 is not a special angle. We begin to think of what identity could help us to find the exact value of this problem. Yes, we can use the sum identity of cosine. Then now we begin to think of how can we compose two numbers to 5 pi over 12. We begin to think of 1 pi over 12 plus 4 pi over 12, that is 5 pi over 12. That is true. However, pi over 12 is not a special angle. What about 2 pi over 12 plus 3 pi over 12? Yes, that equals to 5 pi over 12. And 2 pi over 12 could be reduced to pi over 6. And 3 pi over 12 we can also reduce to pi over 4. And that's it. These two angles are special angles. In other words, we can use this special identity, the sum identity of cosine, to evaluate. Please feel free to pause the video so that you can try how to apply the identity to this problem. Very nice. We have cosine of pi over 6 times cosine of pi over 4. Subtract sine of pi over 6 times sine of pi over 4. Let's make a sketch of pi over 6 angle. The ratios is facing to pi over 6 that angle. The side is 1. hypotenuse 2, remaining side square root of 3. Then cosine of pi over 6 equals to square root of 3 over 2. And sine of pi over 6 equals to 1 over 2. With the sketch of pi over 4, we know the ratio is 1 square root of 2. Then cosine of pi over 4, which equals to 1 over square root of 2, as we rationalize, that equals to square root of 2 over 2. Then sine of pi over 4 also equals to 1 over square root of 2. As we rationalize, we will have square root of 2 over 2. As we multiply the numbers, we have square root of 6 over 4 minus square root of 2 over 4. And combining two fractions into one, therefore our final answer is square root of 6 minus square root of 2 over 4. Example number 3. We write in terms of sine x and cosine x. Cosine of 7 pi over 6 minus x. We begin to think of what we could do in order to rewrite this problem. Yes, we can use the difference identity of cosine. Please feel free to pause the video so that you can give it a try. Yes, we will have cosine of 7 pi over 6 times cosine x plus sine of 7 pi over 6 times sine x. Let's evaluate cosine of 7 pi over 6 and sine 7 pi over 6. As we sketch 7 pi over 6, we will have the reference angle of pi over 6. The ratio is facing to pi over 6. That side would be 1. Hypotenuse 2. Remaining side square root of 3. Now let's check the sign. Yes, both x value and y value would be negative. And so we would have cosine of 7 pi over 6 equals to negative square root of 3 over 2 times cosine x plus sine of 7 pi over 6 equals to negative 1 over 2 times sine x. As we simplify, we will have negative square root of 3 cosine x over 2 minus sine x over 2. To combine these two fractions into one, we will have the final answer as negative square root of 3 cosine x minus sine x over 2. Thank you for watching my video.